Actually, I think I have 10 minutes.
Broward. Broward.
Deep
He's
dive.
got 10. He's the deep dive. Oh, 15? So
15.
this is
Okay,
even
15.
deeper.
Do I hear 30?
One.
Okay, just, hey, why not? Come on. Okay, is there a, oh, you good. Good. Okay, so I'm going to give you all, first of all, welcome. My name is Doug Sines, and I appreciate being here very much. Appreciate a lot of help for what you're doing here. This is a phenomenal opportunity. Is this coming across? I want to make sure I can't hear it too well. Okay. And so what I want to do is how we help businesses improve their bottom line. But I'm kind of giving this a more holistic view, a broader view as to what we do. Because a lot of folks don't know that, oh yeah, you help someone get a job, right? And that kind of thing. We do that, but I'm here from the employer side. Because we help employers do a lot of things as well. So I'm going to kind of give you that broader view. Do I tell you the clip? Okay, next. Okay, so here are 4 key areas we do. We prepare the talent supply, we onboard the talent, okay? We retain and upskill existing talent, we help you do that. You actually, that's part of your job. And then we grow Broward businesses. It's kind of a very broad view of what we do. Now, how do we do that? That's the important thing. And so next, please. Excuse me. How do we do this? We help job seekers with reemployment. Many moons ago, for those of you who might remember, there was the unemployment office. So those went away, and so we don't deal with unemployment. We tell you about reemployment. You need to get a job, we'll help you do that. Okay, we'll actually sit there and help you do your resume, update your resume. That can be very helpful, not only for those who haven't had a job before, but for those who haven't looked for a job. I remember one lady came in, 20 years on a job. She said, I don't know what to do with my resume. What do I do? How do I do this? Well, there's an example. We work with youth ages 16 to 24. We have different programs, but one of the things we do is Worlds of Work. Has anybody heard of this? I don't expect you to necessarily, but if you have, this is a phenomenal event we do once a year with 9th and 10th graders. We partner with the school district, and what we do is they come in to the Panther Arena, and we take that whole big space where you go around the arena, and it's on the outside part, and that's not in where the ice is. And we have industries from 10, companies from 10 different industries, and they provide very hands-on exhibits. So the students are going in there and they get to sit down and do the, what do you call it thing when you, simulation, aviation simulators. They're flying planes. They go over into another industry and they're checking blood pressure, they're pumping the heart, they're taking care of wounds. They go into another department and they can see the SWAT vehicles and the fire engines. They can get to know what works how. They get to use in the construction area. They can start drilling stuff, making some simple stuff. They can use there's a huge crane out there. Now they don't get to operate the crane at that age. You're like, hey mom, look. But they do get to see all that. It's not a simple thing you just walk into. A lot of gadgets and a lot of levers and a lot to do. But so it's very immersive. And we're prepping them to start thinking about what are you going to do? And look at all these opportunities. Okay? The Summer Youth Employment Program, if you're an employer, and you're not alone, not like a solopreneur, this is a great opportunity to introduce youth ages 16 to 18 into work. Okay, they got to see the real world of work. There needs to be someone to supervise them at all times. It has to be a physical location. But this is a good way that we start preparing the talent supply. We want them to know you don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right here in Broward County, all kinds of industries. Next slide, please. We onboard them, job fairs, recruitments. We have Paychecks for Patriots as our real signature job fair. We do that in November. It's both for the general public and veterans, but veterans get a special focus for the first hour. It's strictly veterans. They get to meet all these employers. We had, do you remember, how many people did we have?
How many people?
Yes.
About 1,500. How many?
15.
About 200.
Okay, there you go. We had about 200 employers and 1,500 people. On the job training grants, to onboard, we can actually reimburse up to 90% of the wages for up to 3 months while you're onboarding someone. Now that means you are training them in an occupation. So it's not like give them a book. No, it's you're showing them how to do it. But that's phenomenal because they're not their most productive at that point. Quick response training grants. These are very targeted. These are new for us. These are a state grant and for high wage, high skill jobs. If you're hiring people, this is the kind of grant you want to go for, okay? Because it can help offset the cost of building the curriculum and training these people. So that's great. Okay, how do we retain and upskill? upgrade on the job. I told you about the on-the-job training grant. That's if you're hiring someone new. But now suppose you have an employee, I have this gentleman here, he works for me, he says, this guy's so smart, I bet he can do this job over here. Well, that grant can help cover up to 90% of his wages for up to 3 months in the new position. Okay, that's how, again, they can help. And again, while he's at his least productive, because he's learning the job, that's how we can help. And then the incumbent worker training grants, that's for upskilling. Excuse me. So if you have employees that you say, okay, I need to train this row of employees, or they need to do this, let's try this over again. They need to know this new software. This is where that grant comes in. We can pay up to 90% of the direct training costs. So that way you can upskill them. What does that do? Well, one, you don't have to lay them off, because obviously that's another option. If this previously good employee here said, I don't want that stuff, and what, oh well, hey, have a good life. Here's your pink slip. We'll hire someone else. And two, you can be more competitive. Okay, because that's the goal. So we have to remain competitive. It's tough out there. You know that better than most people do. It's not an easy job to keep a business going. And then how do we grow these businesses? Or help you grow. We don't grow you, but we help you grow. We promote registered apprenticeships. You can get a registered apprenticeship in most any industry these days. Now we tend to think traditionally, for those of us who are maybe over 40, okay, yeah, plumber, electrician, carpenter. And yes, those are still there. But what about marine tech, automotive tech? What about IT cybersecurity? These are registered apprenticeships that are available. And they're in every industry these days. So we do promote those a lot. We can provide labor market information. You're a small business, you're gonna hire your first employee. It's like, you're thinking maybe the neighbor's kid, but you saw him picking his nose, so it's not sure he's good. So, but what do I pay the person? We can help you get that information, okay? We have both public sources and private sources of data. Job fairs and recruitments, I mentioned those. We can also screen candidates. You can, Employ Florida gives you the opportunity to actually post jobs. It's the state's Indeed.com, if you will, okay? You can post jobs. Employers and job seekers can have an account at no cost. Job seekers can upload the resumes and so forth. They can search jobs. Employers can go searching resumes, posting jobs, again, no cost to you. So it's an additional tool in your toolkit. You don't have to just always, Indeed, I gotta start paying money now. No, you can go this route as well. Next, please. Thank you so much. You're doing an awesome job. And he's so relaxed doing his job, isn't he? So you can follow us on social media. And if you have any questions, next slide, please feel free to take a picture of this. That's my contact information. My name is Doug Sines, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Or if I don't know everything, refer you to the right person who can actually do that.
I have a quick question. Is
Sure.
there a Miami version of this?
Very good question. There is a version of this in every county or group of counties in Florida. It depends on how each charter. We're all chartered by the state. We're contracted by the state. We are not state, we're not federal. We are federally funded, but locally controlled. So in Miami-Dade, Career Source South Florida is the version of us down there. Palm Beach County, Career Source Palm Beach County is us up there. And we're restricted, those are our boundaries. So our edict given to us is, you serve Broward businesses, Broward residents. And that's who we serve. So if someone comes up, hey, I have a business in Miami-Dade, can you help me? No, but I'll refer you to someone who can. Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah, make sure
So
you
that's
take
how we
it.
get that information. And I want to just point out, Parthenia Sterling is my colleague here. Say hello, Parthenia. She took pictures. I had to recognize her. Thank you, Parthenia. Any questions at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. On the apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah. Say it 3 times fast. That, you said, what did you say about them? And did you say we could register departments with you, or you have them?
Okay, good question. So no, we don't have apprenticeships. What we do is we can connect you with the Florida Department of Education, and you can actually create one if there isn't one out there, because sometimes they're already out there, they already have sponsors. But actually I worked with a locksmith that created 2 registered apprenticeships. One for a locksmith, technician, and the other for the official, basically they were the dispatcher, because they got a lot of jobs. And now you don't just have, these kind of locks, you can, you see in the movies, they pick locks and all, but you got the electronic locks, you got these kind of locks, you have timed locks. They do all that, plus they do, security cameras and all that kind of thing. So there's a lot to it, but they just create, so we can lead you, can make the connection to help you get that going. Or like I said, tap into one that's already there. So if you're in manufacturing, for example, and you want to hire people to go through an apprenticeship in manufacturing, there are those that already exist, the South Florida Manufacturers Association or Florida Makes, they also have it.
The reason I asked about that is because we know there's a shortage of employees from the trades, HVAC, plumbing, like you said, in addition to the advanced topics or jobs that people could have. And there's such a shortage in the trades that it's affecting those industries.
Yeah,
So,
deeply.
that's something I'm thinking about. How do we reverse that? Get young people interested in the trades where they can make a great deal of money, maybe not as much as an influencer, but what are the chances of them being an influencer for real?
Yeah.
So, thank you for answering my question.
No, that's very, and let me encourage everybody, by the way, because culturally, we just historically have to, go to college, go. Nothing wrong with college, but it's not a solve-all. And all those people come up with huge debt, and a lot of times they're flipping burgers. Okay, and now with the way AI will impact certain fields, you'll have more burger flippers available. But the trades, first of all, you make good money. You generally come out with no debt, or very, very little. I mean, like negligible. And AI can't fix an engine in a boat. Marine mechanics are in high demand. They don't have enough of them. You can't build a building with AI. You can't fix your plumbing.
Not yet.
All this is just done. So it's really important that make that available to people, and there's tons of jobs available. There really are. Manufacturing.
I have no question. Your
Sure.
services, is it part of my motto? If it's free, it's for me.
If it's free, it's
For you.
no, one more time. If it's free, it's for me. All right. Okay. A+ for you all. You'll pass. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me a bit more on the training support that we do, changing software or changing your platform, so you have a problem that can help with the cost of that training?
Okay, so the incumbent worker, it sounds like you're asking about the incumbent worker training grant. So that's for existing employees. So if they've been with you for at least 6 months and you want to upskill them, okay? We can come in and provide up to 90%, depending on the size of the business, how many employees are in it, reimburse up to 90% of the direct training costs. So some key things are, as a business, you have to be eligible, basically legitimate, and Sunbiz registered, paid your business tax receipt, and you have a physical location. You have to have we don't do virtual. That's real important. Secondly, the individuals have to be eligible. What is that on the incumbent worker? They have to be legally able to work. They have to be Broward residents. And third, if they're males, they must have, if they've been born as of 1960, they must have registered for selective service. Those are requirements. We can't escape those things. Those are federal mandates. And these are federal dollars, so you figure it. So did that help? Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, quick question. The use case you use, a business case was software, right?
Mhm.
Someone's going to do software. Is that predefined software they can identify, or could it be a software that's used for a particular business case?
No, it could be any. The only exception. That's a good question, by the way. This question is what kind of software. If it's a software training you're looking at, it cannot be proprietary. So if it's your software and only you use it, no. Why? The way the dollars flow from Congress is the person has to be able to take that skill elsewhere if they move. So if it's proprietary, they can never use it again. But yeah, we had an environmental consulting firm that had to replace their old, what's it called, an enterprise resource management software. It was clunky, it wasn't gonna be updated, so they said they went out and bought a new stuff, but the training doesn't come with it. So they had to train their employees in it, and that's where we were able to step in and help them out. So save them, in their case, it saved them $17,000.
That would be our business.
Yeah.
That's great. What about a CRM? Like if you're introducing a new CRM?
Yep, same thing, any kind of software where they have to learn and be able to use it to do their job. Yes, ma'am.
In line with that same question, if you're getting that training,
30
do
seconds.
you find that person that's gonna train, or is that a provider that?
We can help you find those people, because we have folks that are already eligible. But, or you may have someone you like, you say, hey, can you look at this person and see if they're eligible?
Time is up.
And my time is up, I believe.
Yes,
Thank
it
you
is.
so very much.